So tell us about how this relates to our understanding of virgin birth, or what is there more that we need to know about virgin birth if it's the basis of the entire cosmic creation?
Well, the first thing that everyone should become aware of is that when we think of the seven mothers, or the way in which it's revealed to me, the stories that we know today, it's not just of the women, it's how their stories are co-opted or subverted. And in this in particular, it's like it's a reset. Actually, it's like, okay, we've watched how the world has changed, particularly this planet, which is a very beloved gem in this part of the cosmos. um, so it's like, all right, well, this we're starting this cycle. This needs to kind of right itself back on its head. um, the way the mothers create. And it's so wonderful that you asked this question, because it was revealed to me over the summer, before the Genesis, how self-replication is passed down. So one of the main tenets of the mothers is continuity. And so with self-replication, it's they pass down how to self-replicate through their creations. And their original form is that of the female form, not because it's woman as defined by society, but because woman has that cauldron of creation, the womb. That's the main thing right there. And so with parthenogenesis, the way that we've been able to vocalize it in language is continuity through self-replication. So as she creates, she passes that down to her creations, and the most essential form that's manifested is that of woman, because she holds that, she has that in her. It's already ingrained. And when it comes to, men say, well, what about men? It's not about opposites, really. It's complementary. And so the only difference that I've been taught between man and woman is that men don't have a womb. It's not to say they can't create. It's not to say that they can't be generative in their creativity. It's with regards to continuity, to perpetuate the essence of what the seven mothers are. That's in the form of female. So yes, parthenogenesis, it has to do with honoring that cosmic spark of creation, that cosmic means of bringing into being. And that is what they are. It's so amazing, because when they showed me, that's just their thing. As soon as they emerged, they just started self-replicating, and they
Wow.
put that in their creation. So that is their, it's just to create and to bring form to.
Right. So what you're talking about is a multiverse that is essentially governed, created by seven beings who are female, who have wombs. And it's like they're not even one. It's not one monotheistic male god, the erector set model of creation. What you're getting is something much older that has hints, if not direct correspondences in these ancient religions, like you were mentioning, India with the Saptamatrikas or the Astamatrikas, Egypt with its seven Hathors, Greece, and even really internationally with the seven sisters of the Pleiades and so forth. These are like resonances.
Mhm.
Now I know that the Pleiades were named as essentially virgin mothers. Now they were raped, and in the creation of humanity, there because of the beings that raped them, their co-creation of humanity became a little bit marred. It was a little bit um, driven off course
Mhm.
by the energies that came into them through these beings who raped them and infiltrated human DNA. at a certain point in history. So there's that interruption story, you know, as well that we have here. What So these revelations are coming to you through dreams or through ceremonial states, or tell us a little bit more about this.
So it's both ceremonial and dreaming.
Mhm.
The revelation of the origin story was through ceremony, um, and the explanation of tradition, or what to do to honor this, what to do to embody that was revealed through ancestral dreaming.
I see. Okay.
Um, and so with when you mention how the Pleiades and the energies coming in, the revelation with regards to that is that because the male body cannot replicate itself, it's reliant on um, the essential beingness of these mothers. So even though we have these myths today that talk about, like, Zeus, for example, giving birth through the head, or Atum, depending upon how you look at ancient Egyptian creation stories, the male aspect, the male form is reliant on, because it doesn't have that particular womb space that mimics the cosmos per se.
Right. And as I've written in The Cult of Divine Birth in Ancient Greece, and then my second book, Virgin Mother Goddesses of Antiquity, that reliance, that lack of womb space is what led to the cosmic rapes,
Mhm.
the rapes of the great goddess herself, which you hear about in things like the Eleusinian mysteries, as well as the rapes of the continued iterations of these goddesses and their priestesses. So these are cosmic stories, and that are coming to light again. You know, we're starting to understand in a new way what's going on from this female-centered perspective as the veils are coming off. Tell us a little bit about Athena, because I've written about her extensively as originally a virgin mother before she was co-opted and swallowed by Zeus and brought through his sieve to become a warrior in service of patriarchy. But she originally was a virgin mother and a healer goddess. And it seems to me you've been receiving some information about Athena. And I've also written about her and studied about her, as her origins are in North Africa, right? Which is also where, the Pleiadian story is an African origin story as well, which is what's so interesting. So tell us what you're getting about Athena.
So she reveals herself as Athene, and initially her origin is as Neith,
Yes.
of Sais, which is no longer above water. Um,
And I've written about that as well, just to correspond with what you're saying, verify what you are saying.
so Athene laid the foundation for what we now call Athens, um, as an I would say that she existed, in the flesh, and her ascendancy to, as a goddess Athena, was just part of that process of an ancestral mother. These ancestral mothers, as part of their embodiment, it's what they did. They established a ground. I recall seeing her laying the foundations of a road, of the ground that she lived in, because that's part of what the mothers, I wouldn't say want, but it's part of anchoring their energies on habitable places. And right now I can just speak for the earth, but that's just what I received. She was an ancestral mother, And she's an ancestress to all of humanity. That's also what I've got. That it's not just directly related, yes, but then also as a whole, because these ancestral mothers, that's just who they are. All of humanity are their children. But yeah, she, the founding of Athens, at least the way that it was revealed to me, she helped to lay the foundation, not just as her name, but also to ground the practices that, were passed down and, lost in some way.
Absolutely. And verifying that is the research that I've done in my first two books, which is that she literally laid the rock
Mm, yes.
on which the Acropolis was built. So now tell us a bit more about this. These mothers know then how to have human incarnation. They know how to come into this dimension and have a reality. And are they still like walking the earth as ascended master type energies, or how is this working?
So it's because now they're like, okay, we're doing a whole shift. You children have run rampant in a sense. So we're just going to come back and bring things out to equilibrium. They operate in a couple of ways. One, of course, through getting in touch with people, particularly women, but could be both men and women, getting in touch through ancestral lines that were directly related to what their priestesses did in antiquity. And that's usually, through dreams and intuition. And the other way is, of course, reincarnation. So how does that happen? It's a matter of having their daughters, or remember, okay, sort of like a rememory of, okay, this is what happened in the past, this is what we did, this is what you're connected to. So that's through ancestral dreaming. So it's a matter of getting the individual in the right mindset, in the right energetic, physical energetic framework, because to be born on this planet today, depending on where you're born, is to be born through a patriarchal conditioning. So for them to come back, it's okay, let's get in touch with some of the human lineages that are still alive today, and just awaken that DNA memory, so that just get these women up to speed as priestesses, to work into the community, to bring people back to that awareness and realization. And then, a more focused approach is, okay, we're going to start reincarnating. So how do we do that? We get in touch with particular lines again and reawaken her to who we are, to who she is, to how things were in the beginning, through ancestral memory, have her practice these for a number of years, up to the point where, they're ready to say, all right, we're going to come down.
In a special conception that this woman is going to have.
That would be the way, because if you think about it, that's their nature in a sense. So if they, the way that they emerged, it's the reemergence. This is how that they would want to come back. So however which way they deem it, that's the way it is to happen.
Are these primarily through parthenogenetic virgin conceptions?
I would say I'd assume so, because that's their nature, that's in their energetic framework. Whether it be exactly through that or through a particular union of their choosing, it's up to them. How that union would happen, be it in the spiritual realm or on the earthly realm, again, it's up to how they would see fit. But I would imagine, it would be through their way, which is self-replication, parthenogenesis, or divine conception in a more ancient traditional way than what we have today.
This is truly, completely fascinating. And I think it's one of the reasons that keeps bringing you and I together and together and together, right? Because um, I find out stuff, then you find out stuff, and then we kind of cross talk about it, and it's just amazing. So yeah, I just want to give people watching a moment to just absorb, what is being suggested here of a new old cosmology of how it may have been. 7 mothers, 7 grandmothers, godmothers as universal creators. One of them would be the governess of this universe.
Mhm.
Their method of birth is parthenogenesis, virgin birth, self-creation, self-creation, self-replication, out of which men can come, males can come. And something went askew with that whole schema and program, and the males that they started creating started raping them, started raping the priestesses. Other beings of their creation started skewing some of these beings that were coming into form. And then it went down the road of, if you want to call it fallen angels or whatever, until today, where the world is going to heck in a handbasket. And what are you going to do about it? Well, what we're going to do about it is have dreams and be in ceremony and start getting this ancient information and then figure out, okay, what are the next steps, right? So let's